So, you've already decided to study abroad in South Korea and already packing your bags to catch your next flight. But wait, you forgot about the whole application process, finances so you don't starve, and how to not get deported from this country. Well, don't you worry about that, because this video will provide you with all of the necessary information on how to study abroad. So, let's get into it. Now, this video will be broken up into 4 parts: application and process, scholarship and finance, packaging tips, and mistakes that I made when I was in South Korea, because I got a lot of it. So feel free to skip to the parts that you need, but let me just say, you probably don't want to do that because I'll be giving some juicy information. And it's a whole comedy show. Kevin Hart charged you for comedy. Susie is free. If I were you, I would stay. Now, the hardest part about studying abroad is literally choosing where you want to go. But since you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you're way ahead of everyone else because you know you want to study abroad in South Korea. And now the hardest part is literally figuring out what you need for your application and which program to choose. Okay, Susie, tell us, where did you start? Now, in terms of program, I applied through ISA. They're like the middleman between your home university and your host university. They do all of the work and communication for you, and all you have to do is apply and pay money. That's it. That's literally all it is. And I believe for my application, you needed 2 health forms, a transcript, a letter of intent, which is pretty much why you want to study at your host university, recommendation letter. Most important one is course verification form. Now, I really want to talk about course verification because I feel like a lot of students, they need to know this before ever applying to a study abroad program, and that is, please save all of your gen ed classes. Please do not take your major courses in a foreign country. Number one, you're gonna have a hard time getting those courses because none of the courses would be available to me, and number 2, it's so freaking hard to take science courses in Asia. I mean, the kids here are already like super smart, not saying I'm not.
Are you sure about that?
Or might be dumb. Plus, if you're in a foreign country, you want to take the easier courses so you can actually immerse yourself in the culture and actually experience stuff instead of being stressed about school 24/7. Now, on the topic of finance, a lot of students think that studying abroad is very expensive and not affordable. Like, Susie, don't you need to be loaded to study abroad? It's expensive, you know? Truth is, studying abroad is actually not expensive. In fact, you'll be surprised if I tell you that the average tuition to study abroad in an Asian country is actually so much cheaper than the United States because the education system in the United States is a scam. What? Education in the United States is way too expensive. Like, I don't need to pay $40,000 just to study. And truth is, at the end of the day, if you think about it, you're literally paying $40,000 to get a piece of paper that says you graduated. That paper must be made out of gold. That is one expensive paper. So don't think it's impossible to study abroad just because you don't have the finances. In fact, Korea University tuition per semester is only about like $10,000. That's a deal. That is so cheap. Now, in terms of scholarships, I made an Excel file sheet and put down all the deadlines of all the scholarships so I know when to go ask my teacher for a letter of recommendations and everything else. And I had a lot of people look over my essays to make sure that it was to the level that I was satisfied with, and then I turn it in, and all I had to do was be patient and wait for the result. Now, in terms of packing, I recommend 3 essential items that every student needs to bring. And that is travel adapter, because if you don't have a travel adapter, you're screwed. No, just kidding. I've been to a lot of Daisos here in South Korea, and I'm telling you, they don't sell travel adapters. The only travel adapters they have is like the plugger for your like iPhone. For my Surface Pro, it's helpless. Second most important thing is medicine. Just bring your own medicine. Don't rely on a foreign country's medicine to help you stay alive. Also, make sure to double check to see if you can actually bring them, because I know there's certain countries that have certain restrictions for what type of medicine you can bring in. But the ones that I brought was Tylenol, Alka-Seltzer. Did I say that right?
Alka-Seltzer.
Something for your stomach so you can poop if you start eating fried food, because the fried chicken here is really good. but I had a lot of diarrhea moments from those fried chickens, so. I also brought motion sickness pills because I have motion sickness, and I also brought Benadryl. I personally think Benadryl is one of the most important medicines you can get here because it wasn't until I came to South Korea that I found out that I was allergic to soy milk, and I'm telling you, Benadryl has saved my life multiple times. The third most important thing, which I recommend to get a travel weight, just if you go travel and you want to see how heavy your luggage is so you don't overpay, and there's a potential you're going to be paying more because you're going to overbuy stuff here. I mean, there's just so much to see. Now, here's to the section of every mistakes that I have made in South Korea, and I hope you don't do the same. So one thing that I've realized here is that the professors here are not as organized than the ones in the state. And the reason why I say that is because one of my professor, when asked in the beginning, do we have a midterm for this class? He said there wasn't a midterm. But then a week before his midterm, he literally announced that, hey guys, we have a midterm. So I'm just gonna say this, be prepared if you're gonna come to South Korea to study, that the teachers are gonna be very spontaneous. In a sense, it's actually teaching you how to be more responsible and also teach you how to have time management, because when you live in the city, everything is happening and it's really hard to balance between school and social life. Definitely be prepared to experience culture shock and spontaneous teachers, because that was one thing I was not aware of, and I was very stressed out during midterm week, like almost crying and like pulling my hair out. I just couldn't get my life together. It was hard. It was really hard. Time management was like out of the roof, and I even consider myself a very organized person, but it's a whole new experience. Now, another thing I have to say is with passports, please check your expiration date on your passport. Your passport should be, before you departure from a country, still valid for 6 months. Anything that's government document wise, you need to get that done in the beginning. But that concludes it, guys, for everything that I have to give to you about studying abroad. If you guys have more questions in terms of, hey Susie, can you show us the essay that's got you all the scholarship, please let me know in the comment section below. I am thinking about opening maybe like a Discord to help people one-on-one, so if that's something that you look forward to, please let me know. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope it was helpful, and please look forward to my next vlog.
Bye bye.
Okay, end of the video. I'm literally filming this with my toes.